Mrs. Frisby followed him out onto the limb. To her relief, Jeremy was still waiting where she had left him, though not very patiently. "We must hurry," he said. "It's almost dark. I'm not supposed to be out so late." Mrs. Frisby, who had the same feeling, climbed on his back, much less afraid now for two reasons. First, she was getting used to air travel. Second, since the woods below them were dark, she could no longer see how far away the ground was. "He talked to you for a long time," said Jeremy, as they flew. "Did he tell you anything that will help?" "I don't know," said Mrs. Frisby, since the owl had brought up the matter of secrecy, and had, in fact, been secretive himself. She was not sure just how much she should tell Jeremy. "Why don't you know?" "I mean, he told me some things, but I don't know whether they'll help or not." She decided to counter with a question of her own. "What does 'in the lee' mean?" Jeremy, being, like all birds, knowledgeable about the wind, knew the answer to that. "It means the calm side, the side the wind doesn't blow from. When there's a strong wind, you fly up to the barn from the lee, so that you don't get bashed into the wall. My father taught me that." "I see," said Mrs. Frisby, and she became more puzzled than ever. What had the wind to do with it? "He told me," she said finally, deciding it could do no harm, "to go and see the rats." "The rats?" Jeremy was startled. "But they don't have anything to do with us." "I know, but he thought they might help." "What could they do?" "He thought they might move my whole house. But how could they do it? I can't imagine." "Oh, I doubt that they could," said Jeremy. "Everyone knows, at least all the birds know, that the rats can do things. They're up to something. Nobody is quite sure. For one thing, they're building themselves a new house, way back in the woods over the mountains. They even made quite a big clearing near it. I'd show you, but it's too dark now. They used to carry food like the rest of us, but now we see them with other things, pieces of metal and bits of machinery, and things I can't even recognize. They take them into that rose bush, and what happens to them, I don't know. But the owl knows more than most. I expect he's had some dealings with them. Just the same, I've never heard of their helping anybody but themselves." "Neither have I, but I'm going to ask them anyway. There isn't anyone else to ask." By the time they reached the garden, it had gone almost completely dark, and Jeremy could not linger. "Good night, Jeremy," said Mrs. Frisby, feeling almost affectionate toward the crow. "Thank you for taking me, and for waiting to bring me back." "You're welcome," said Jeremy. "If you need me again, just ask. After all, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be here to ask." And he flew off into the darkness, the last crow to get home that night.